What's up, everybody? My name is Advance, and this is Advanced Sports Talk. All right, so championship weekend is upon us for the conference championship in the AFC and the NFC. Right now, for those teams that have been eliminated, both from playoff contention and mathematically eliminated before the season even ended, we have coaching movements. All right, so let's talk about it. First off, the one coach that everybody pretty much said has a good chance of getting a head coaching job, Byron Leftwich. Now, he's got several takers, so to speak. I heard that the Saints have requested an opportunity to interview him. I heard he had an interview with Jacksonville, and Jacksonville is very close to kind of pulling the trigger on it, which, in my opinion, I think when I first heard that, I was initially saying like, oh man, like they took our offensive coordinator. But after a while, I realized, hold on, that makes sense, because Leftwich is pretty much just going home. Because back in 2003, he was their first round draft pick. He's been their quarterback for quite a few years. I think it was like 8 seasons he was with them. Then he spent some time in Pittsburgh, spent a year with us, went back to Pittsburgh, and then I don't know what happened to him after that. I think that's when he became offensive coordinator. He ended up in Arizona under Bruce Arians. So if that does come to pass, that would pretty much, kind of put my my theory to rest, or one half of my theory, I should say. Because already Bruce Arians said he has no plans of retiring. He will be back for the 2022 season. What happens with him beyond that, I have no idea. Now, if Leftwich does take that job, I feel like Todd Bowles would be the one to take over. So, I mean, that's if somebody hadn't snatched him up. So the thing is that BA pretty much came out of retirement to coach the Bucks, because I think he was in a spot where he was pretty much about to be done with coaching, and he was like, all right, well, I mean, I'll come back and coach if I can get Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles. So like, hey, so they here. Now, no official report has been made yet. So as far as I know, these two are still Buccaneers. But I mean, that's good. That's good for Leftwich though. If he would go to Jacksonville, I would say that's the best fit for him. They got a fresh young quarterback. They got hella cap space. Not a whole lot of offensive talent, but they got DJ Chark. So, like they can, he's in a prime opportunity to really like rebuild that team. Plus, there's also, depending on what happens with Tom Brady, there's also a chance that he could bring Leonard Fournette with him. Leonard Fournette has shown he's still got a lot to offer, he's still got a lot to offer to the league. In fact, he'll be coming back with more skills than he had when he left. So, yeah, I think that would be great. Like for Leftwich to have, to have somebody that he's familiar with, that he's worked with the last 2 years, and Fournette would be a better back for it, and he knows how to use him correctly. He's not just gonna put the entire game on his back, because let's put to rest any doubt, that 2017 season, Leonard Fournette is the reason why they made the playoffs. He ended up getting hurt down the stretch, but he ended up he ended up resting and then coming back for the playoffs. They lost to, ironically, they lost to the Patriots when Tom Brady was still with them in the divisional round. So yeah, that's yeah, man. I low key hope he gets this job. I also hope he comes back with us for another season. But hey, if there was any job that I would be comfortable with him taking, it'd be that one. Like, cause man, yeah. Definitely better than the last coach they had. Oh, man. So, if what was said to be true, this guy was a dick. Oh, man. So, basically, Urban Meyers has had his name pretty much dragged through the mud this season, with lots of misconduct, so to speak. So he's had quite a few run-ins with bars. So much so to where it's like he ended up in various Instagram posts with I think it was this chick right here that said she put up the caption, "Who is this old guy and why does he keep flirting with me?" or something along those lines. Allegedly. I'm not trying to get sued. Yeah, then on the heels of this came a story or an allegation with previous Jaguars kicker Josh Lambo. Now, Lambo said in the article, it was said in the article that Lambo was quoted saying that he was stretching for practice one day and Urban Meyer came up and kicked him in his leg, because that's smart. You have a kicker who's pretty much the clutch. He's a clutch member of the team, and you kick him in his leg, the thing that he needs to be clutch. Yeah. I think I see why he hasn't played with them this season. But in any case, he kicked him. The story goes, he kicked him in the leg while he was stretching. He was doing lunging or something, and and Urban Meyer kicked him and said, "Hey, you need to start making your kicks." And Josh Lambo said, "Hey, don't you fucking kick me." I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but he definitely told him off about like, "Yo, you don't kick me." Like, what? and he proceeded, Meyer proceeded to respond to him and say, "I can kick whoever the fuck I want. I'm the head coach." And yeah, that's supposedly how the story went. But hey, maybe if Leftwich is in charge, Leftwich will bring him back too, because yeah, I remember Lambo as being a pretty clutch kicker. I mean, I picked him up in fantasy. He did pretty solid for me. But yeah, man, I'm happy. I'm happy for him. I hope he gets that job. Of course, if he goes to the Saints, I will have to invoke the Cobra Kai method of no mercy. Oh man, but okay. So anyway, now. That was one coaching move. The next coach, Nathaniel Hackett. So it's been reported offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett is very close to sealing the deal for Denver, which is ironic because that's a potential landing spot that I said for Aaron Rodgers, either that or Minnesota. So, or he could go to the Raiders. But I think if this hiring goes through, I think more than likely he'll probably end up in Denver. Now. Now, Matt LaFleur, or the Packers organization, released a statement saying that There is no rebuild. There is no plan for a rebuild in the pitch to Aaron Rodgers. So if that is the case, I would have to say, all right, so what was the reason that you drafted Jordan Love for? If you weren't planning to eventually move on. It's like were y'all having a tiff? Was that it? Y'all was having a tiff? And then just said like, all right, you know what? No, hey, we drafted a first round quarterback. You know, Aaron, I'm sorry. I promise you, I'm sorry. But no, I mean, Aaron Rodgers' thing is that there are certain people, this guy here on the right, Devontae Adams, there's certain people whose contracts are up, and he doesn't foresee that Green Bay will have the cap space to retain all of them. So, and you know, that's been his thing. He was like, look, I need more weapons. I need you guys to invest in the offense. Help me, surround me with weapons. You know, so I don't know. With if Hackett gets the Denver job, if that fully goes through, maybe we'll see both of these guys in Denver. They also are one of those teams that got hella cap space. So, oh man, it's definitely, this is the fun time of football, because then you get to see how people, how teams get shuffled around, how people rebuild squads and everything. This is the same thing that happened last year. You know, when you get to look at all the trades and acquisitions and then see who matches up with who and who coordinates with what. And oh man, so I don't know. But yeah, like, one thing is for certain. I think Aaron Rodgers is pretty much done in Green Bay. All right, so I realized I went a little bit out of the box of what I was talking about originally. But so back when I was talking about Byron Leftwich, I mentioned that the Saints had requested a chance to interview him. They requested a chance to interview him and Aaron Glenn. That is because earlier this week, Sean Payton has announced his retirement. Yeah, he's stepping down as head coach of the Saints. So it's looking like the whole division is looking to get reshuffled, you know, because, you know, Carolina's in the midst of a rebuild. Atlanta needs to rebuild. You know, they had a new coach this year because Raheem Morris is in LA. We're going to talk about him in a second. So, yeah, so Saints are looking for a suitable replacement. They need somebody offensive minded. So, of course, why wouldn't they think of Byron Leftwich? Now, they also interviewed or requested an interview for Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. So Saints also have a pretty good defense when they want to be, especially this guy. And he's always pumped when he plays us. Like, oh man, every time he's like, oh man, I love it. But yeah, man, they got so they, you know, they can go in either direction. But like I said, I hope Leftwich gets the Jaguars job. Next, the Oakland Raiders have requested an interview for Josh McDaniels to be their new head coach. Man, that's crazy, because they got a pretty they have a really budding offense over there, you know, with Derek Carr and Hunter Renfrow. You know, Derek Carr is they actually said like him and Kirk Cousins are pretty much about the same. You know, they are pretty solid, pretty consistent, and at the same time, it's easy to, you know, if you want to move, you can move on from them easily without any question. But, you know, so I think that would be that'd be a good hiring for them. You know, it's not like the Raiders are slouches. They made the playoffs this year. They got destroyed by the Bengals, but they made the playoffs this year, and they've clearly improved from years past. So, all right, last but not least, I feel that regardless of what the Rams do this season, if Raheem Morris is open to it, I think there's a head coaching job out there waiting for him. It is possible that BA might look for him to replace Todd Bowles if he moves on. I don't see that happening because Raheem Morris has been a long time. He's been a long time member of the Bucs organization, and he may still harbor a grudge over what happened to him with the with the 2011 season. He was hired for 3 seasons. We had a 3-13 season, a 3-13 season, a 10-6 season, and a 6-10 season. And man, and they fired him after that 3rd season. So yeah, he might not have any plans on coming back. I know I had said previously that I have a feeling that he'll be back. He was in Washington. He was a member of their secondary. He was their second defensive backs coach, which is what he was when he was with us before he got upgraded to D coordinator, taking over for Monty Kiffin after he retired, and then eventually head coach. He went from there to Atlanta, where he was the defensive backs coach, then assistant head coach, then defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. Then he was interim head coach when Dan Quinn got fired. And then from there, he jumped over to the Rams, became the Rams defensive coordinator. And yeah, Rams defense this year was great, man. So I could see him maybe getting a head coaching interview for a team that has a strong defense. So or he might just stay where he's at. I don't know. I like Raheem Morris. If you remember listening to his press conferences, man, that dude had he had crazy energy, man. I don't know if he's calmed down since then, but yeah, man. There's also Lovie Smith out there. He's a defensive coordinator for the Texans, who actually fired their coach. So they are they're in the process of doing a rebuild. So I think that he might go to them because Lovie Smith ran that Tampa 2 system. Because once again, he was a long-time member of the organization. Raheem Morris run the Tampa 2 system, and so they got that similar defensive styles. So hey, then there's a head coaching job open in Miami. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but man, whoever takes that, matter of fact, that could be his. Depending on what the Rams do this year, that could be his job. But I'm not gonna put stuff out there that's not true. I'm just speaking in possibilities and hypotheticals, So, man, whoever inherits that job is gonna inherit a gold mine because, man, they got Tua, Waddle. That defense, I can't name anybody on the defense, but man, that defense is a beast. If only they hadn't traded Micah Fitzpatrick, they'd be perfect all around. But in any case, that's it for these possible coaching hires. My name is Advance. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for additional content on everything. I got gaming on YouTube. I got gaming on Facebook. I got sports on YouTube, sports on Facebook. I'm all over the place, man. So, my name is Advance. I'm out.